Welcome to Conspiracy Corner Podcast, everyone. This is Abe, your host. That opening song was Apollonia 6, Sex Shooter. They were in the movie Purple Rain, if you're a Prince fan. Today is July 16th, 2025. So as far as the update, just been chilling. It's still, we've been getting rain, knock on wood, because we need it. But still not enough fucking rain because it is still scorching hot here in Kentucky. And you guys know me, normally I podcast before work. I'll usually go get something to eat and then podcast afterwards. Because I got a little bit of time before work. I like to do one a day, and I haven't been doing that here lately because, for one, last weekend I was busy. It was Sammy's birthday. She wanted to go out to the fair, so we went to the fair. That was fun. But I ain't gonna lie, dude. So, I'm 33 years old. Illuminati confirmed. We've been to the fair. Me and my wife have been together like 10 years. We've been to the fair like multiple times throughout our relationship. Not like a bunch of times, but like I'd say about 3 or 4 times we've been to the fair. And normally it's not like awkward. You know what I mean? Like normally I feel like there's like a 50-50 mix of like adults and kids. So, like, everyone's having fun together. There's my bracelet from it. But this was the first year that we went. We went to the Garrett County one. And this was the first year that we went that it was, like, awkward. Like, it felt like we were at, like, a Chuck E. Cheese. Like, it was, like, nothing but parents and kids. And I'm like... And they were even kind of, like, eyeing us, you know. Which I kind of get eyeballs anyway. Anywhere I go, pretty much, just because I'm a punk, you know. When I'm not, like, in work uniform, like, you know, I'm usually wearing, like, a punk tee, you know, tight jeans, ripped up jeans, you know. But I don't know, dude, it was just awkward. Like, it cracked me up, though. We went on one ride, and there was this dude, and he was around our age, and he had this huge, like, 400-pound woman with him. I'm guessing, like, his girlfriend or his wife. And she wouldn't go on any rides, which I don't blame her. Not, like, fat shaming or nothing. But, like, dude, he didn't give a fuck. He was, like, this chunky guy, long hair. Like, you could tell he used to be, like, a metalhead in high school, and he still kind of was, like... And he went on the ride and was just like, took his hat off, was like headbanging and like, whoa. And I'm like, fuck it, dude. He's having a good time. So I just started acting crazy too. And like, it just kind of helped that it was like, okay, like they're an adult couple with no kids. They're having fun. Like, fuck it, man. So it kind of helped seeing that of being like, just because I like roller coasters and rides and trying to take my wife to do something that she wants to do for her birthday, like, doesn't mean we're like over here like Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. I mean, I get people being protective, but at the same time, it's like, okay, you know, like, we're just here to have fun. It's not like we're at like Chuck E. Cheese. It's a fair. Anyone can come to a fair. But speak of the devil, Chuck E. Cheese is coming out with adult arcades, which I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. It'd be cool to have some pizza and a beer and not have to worry. And because, dude, I love arcades, man. That's another thing. I love arcades. Like, I just want to go to an arcade sometimes and play video games and skee ball, you know. But there's not that many places. Luckily, there's like Dave and Buster's, or you know what I mean. But I don't know. It just sucks being an older person who wants to do like roller coasters and rides and arcades, you know. But that's just a little update on my personal life. You guys know how I always start that off in the intro. Today, dude, let's get into this. All right, dude. So last episode was a Blue Pill podcast episode on a new Zelda game that I got. So go check it out if you're a Zelda fan. It's a remake of Zelda's Adventure for Game Boy. Um, I have a Buy Me a Coffee account set up. If you enjoy the work that I do and you want to donate $1 or something, please do. It helps the channel. It helps me pay for notebooks and stuff, because I take notes and this is my talking points, and helps pay for pens, paper, flash drives. I would like to make some business cards soon. I think I'm just going to go ahead and do it. I need to just do it, that way when I go out and about, I can just, here you go, when I'm just talking to people. So, 2 episodes ago, not last episode, but the episode before, we were talking about the Epstein footage. There has been a shit ton of stuff going on since then. And honestly, dude, you guys know me, like, I love all sorts of conspiracies. I never really covered Epstein super heavily on this channel. I've done several episodes here and there mentioning Epstein. We've done a couple, like, I think probably I've done like 3 or 4 episodes on Epstein, because I said everything I needed to say. I didn't want to be a broken record. I try not to rehash and be a broken record. But this case, dude, I have been keeping up with this case all week, and just like writing a bunch of shit. Like, I need to fucking talk about this and do an update, because this is getting ridiculous. So we already talked about the AG, Pam Bondi and Trump, talking about basically, like, during that meeting of, why is everyone still talking about this creep? So I'm not going to rehash that. Since then, though, Trump put out this big long ass, I guess, tweet, or fucking True Social, which is his basically like MAGA QAnon version of like Twitter, X, put out this big post saying he supports Pam Bondi. Her and Kash Patel are doing a great job. He's gaslighting the fuck out of us, dude. This whole why should we care about Jeffrey Epstein is pissing me off. And honestly, dude, he's gonna lose his base. I mean, obviously, you're gonna have, like, I used to be a Q-tard. I've talked about that on this channel before, that I used to be a Q-tard. I've admitted it. Go check out my older shit. I was a QAnon retard. It wasn't for a very long time, but, I mean, it lasted about a year. I was a Q-tard, putting out QAnon bullshit. And I keep those episodes up, because I want people to see that I grew as a person, But he won't lose those people, because those people are just batshit insane. I remember, like, towards the end of, actually, I think this was after I left, like, the QAnon movement, when I just finally had enough of the hopium, and on this date they're all gonna get arrested, on this date this is gonna happen. I can't remember. I think it was this chick who's, like, I think she's mentally ill, but I think her name's the gunner's wife. And she's like a Q-tard, and she was saying that Jeffrey Epstein is actually a good guy, that Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump were working together, and they were actually trafficking children, but they had to do it so they could catch the pedophiles in the act, and it'd be like a sting operation, and then they would, like, whisk Jeffrey Epstein away. That's what happened to him in the jail, which I'm possibly, like, that's a possibility in my opinion, that he's not actually dead, but I don't think that he's whisked away and taken in by the good guys, I don't even think there's good guys at this point, dude. I really don't. And if there is good guys, they're all lower level shit, I've said on this channel before, like, the people at the highest levels, as far as the FBI, Pentagon, CIA, is all corrupt. I wouldn't trust anyone from the fucking CIA. But, like, the lower level people, you know, like, because I don't want people thinking, oh, he doesn't, my uncle's in the military, he's not a pedophile. Well, no, I didn't say your uncle who's probably lower rank. I'm saying at the highest top parts of the Pentagon. Project Flicker, go look into that. We still need to do a whole fucking episode on it. I will do one day, man. They're all pedophiles. FBI. We clearly see Kash Patel and Dan Bongino are fucking flip-flopping pieces of shit. Pam Bondi, piece of shit. Which we're going to get into that here in a second, if we got time. But yeah, his base is going to turn on him. And I think, honestly, he fucking deserves it. I turned on him when he became the father of the vaccine. Fucking Operation Warp Speed. Yeah. He kind of pissed me off with all that shit. I became gay for RFK. I told you guys that was my thing for a while. Which, by the way, dude, I want to do an episode on him because he did something recently about something called wearables, bracelets. I just heard like a tiny little bit, a tidbit. If you know more in the comments, hit me up. But I'm going to do a deep dive on RFK because he's doing some weird shit too. Which, by the way, he was on the island, you know. He said it was just a swimming trip with his daughters. Which, by the way, saying that in an interview is just fucking insane. Like, that doesn't make it sound any better. That actually makes it sound worse. Like, Kennedy, what are you doing? So, this pissed me off that happened this week. Ghislaine Maxwell said she would testify before Congress. Guess who stopped it? The Republicans. So, this is why I'm a big fan of, like, Sam Tripoli. And honestly, I don't like being in an echo chamber. I listen to everyone. I listen to Benny Johnson. I listen to Quartering. I listen to Salty Cracker. I listen to Owen's Fireside Chats. I listen to far left, far right, Christian, non-Christian. I listen to everyone, dude. Satanist. I listen to everyone. I don't want to be stuck in an echo chamber. But I always liked Sam Tripoli because he was like a classic liberal, which is what I am, which would today now be called moderate. People say, well, why don't you just call yourself moderate? And I'm like, because I don't like that. I believe that words are spells. And I've noticed throughout history, and I've studied Orwell, and I know that they love to change definitions. Just because the word liberal is now demonized, because it's went so far progressive, which, by the way, progressive, that word right there, progress, is the origin of that word. I don't know about you, but progress is a good thing. But they take good words and they demonize them and destroy them to where they're just useless, worthless things. I still enjoy and use the actual definition of that word. But this should show you, because there's a lot of people who got into politics, like especially this younger generation. Like, I work with a guy who's like half a decade younger than me. So he doesn't remember the warmongering of the George Bush regime after 9/11. He doesn't remember that the Republicans used to be the bad guys. Now it just so happens that the Democrats are the bad guys. But this is a good, honestly, a good fucking red pill for a bunch of people. Because I've said this over the years. Honestly, I've said this since day one of my podcast, that it's two wings of the same bird. Don't fall into the left-right paradigm. Red, blue, elephant, donkey. Just don't do it. And this should show you. Why would the Republicans stop Ghislaine Maxwell from testifying? And there's people out there who, by the way, dude, I am loving, because I hate the left and the right. I love when the Republicans tear themselves apart, and I love when Democrats tear themselves apart. Yes, Republican, in my opinion, is the lesser of the two evils, but it's still evil. Um, I love watching both sides tear each other apart. It's fucking beautiful to me because I want to see it all go up in flames. But like a phoenix, I want to see it rise from the ashes. Which is why I say too, man, like, people are like, well, the reason Trump can't release the Epstein files, this is what the right wing is saying, these hopium idiots, they're saying, is because it'll destroy the federal government. It'll destroy our government. I'm like, good. Because in my opinion, the top of the Pentagon, our military, are all pedophiles. CIA needed to be gone a billion years ago. Kennedy tried to do it, and then he got, you know. FBI has been corrupt as hell. CPS has been proven to be child traffickers multiple times. They're fucked. Our medical industry, like the WHO, and that's all fucked by Big Pharma, and every form of government is fucked. So honestly, I think we do need to burn it all to the ground and, like a phoenix, rise from the ashes and learn our lesson. If that means that it's going to get tough here in America for a little bit, I'm fine with that. You know, if we're not number one like we used to be, oh, boo-hoo, get over yourselves. I am fine with not being number one for a while and living a little tough. I'm already living tough as it is anyways. You know? But if that means, like, the next generations are going to have a beautiful life with a non-corrupt government, then so be it. We went through worse, dude. We went through a revolutionary war, a civil war. Like, I know we don't remember it, but we've read about it. You know, America's been through worse. So this is one thing that I love, though, dude, is Sam Tripoli always says it. The Quartering said it the other day, dude, is because he's like me. He's like classic liberal. I think he calls himself a moderate, which is cool. That's pretty much what I am. Like I said, I'm just not using that word. I'm calling it what it is, classic liberal. He's like, dude, my channel will never be as big as like other people's channels. And Sam has said the same thing. Like, he's like, I know why my channel doesn't blow up. Because people want, like, you either to be super liberal or super right wing and super Trump-tard, you know? And it's like, no, I'm going to, because honestly, in my opinion, everyone politically should be right smack dab in the middle. That should be your goal, is to reach across the aisle and see both sides, you know? Just saying. But it's interesting watching all these right-wing creators just groveling under Trump and saying, well, it'll destroy the government. Good. I'm sorry. If you really want to know what I am, I'm a fucking anarchist. But this is another crazy thing. Oh, yeah, they're stopping Ghislaine, though, from testifying. But one thing that I noticed was, like, the right-wingers, like these Benny Johnsons and fucking, yeah, all these, like, right-wing conspiracy channels and shit, and these patriots, they're all saying, well, the reason why the Republicans are blocking Ghislaine Maxwell is because she'll lie. And I've said this multiple times on this channel before, and it pisses me off. They must think we're just retarded. Like, releasing the Epstein files. Let us decide if we believe they are real. They think that we are just goy, just sheep. We can't handle the truth. We're too dumb to understand. They need to protect us. No. Government, by the way, the word means to govern your mind. Mind control. It literally means mind control. But it's insulting to my intelligence to think if Ghislaine Maxwell testified, I would obviously read those documents and report on it to you all. and I would give my opinion. Do you think that I would believe her automatically? Is that how stupid you think I am as an American citizen, that you think I would just automatically believe whatever Ghislaine Maxwell said? No. I would take everything with a grain of salt. I would use my discernment, which most people don't seem to have today, and I would decide if I believe her, if I partially believe her, if I wholeheartedly believe her, or if I think she's lying through her goddamn teeth because she's spiteful that she's been locked up, so she's just going to say everyone's on it just to be mean and get them all, you know. I don't know, but I think that she should be allowed to speak and just give her 2 cents. Am I crazy? Am I crazy? But it should show you that how scummy the Republicans are, just like the Democrats. So, dude, this shows you too that it's 2 wings of the same bird. So there's a really good channel, and I suggest you check it out. I like to watch him when I'm at work on break, like smoking a cigarette, because honestly he puts out awesome shit and it's super fucking short. So it's called Memology 101. Go check his shit out. He's fucking awesome. So shout out to him. Tell him who sent you. Maybe he'll give me a shout out or something. But he loves to show you like people flip-flopping. So the mainstream media, which we all know is garbage and propaganda, Smith Report, all that bullshit. They're in the mainstream media, they were saying back in the day that the Epstein files were a MAGA right-wing QAnon conspiracy. And now the mainstream media is saying, because we're under Trump's reign, that Trump basically has been said, one of the things I don't want to release the files is because like it's fake, and the left wing, it's a conspiracy by Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Barack Obama. It's a Blue Anon conspiracy to get me. So right there, though, one thing that I noticed is, so you're admitting you're in the documents. You're admitting you're on the list. Virginia Grew Free, who I reported on, go check that episode out, the one who committed suicide. She said that Trump hung out with Epstein 3 times a week. Like, I knew he was buddies with him. I just now recently realized and learned that he had been buddies with Epstein for 15 years, for one. Apparently, like, best friend neighbors. And also, Virginia Grew Free says that he was at Epstein's house, like, 3 times a week for, like, years. I'm sorry, homie, but you get to know and learn someone. Not immediately. I'm not saying everyone on the list, is guilty, because I've been around pedophiles and not known it until they got arrested later and been like, oh fuck, I was hanging out with that dude, but 15 years 3 times a week, you get to know someone, and eventually they're going to tell their dark secrets of what they're into. I'm just saying. It looks shady as fuck. But yeah, he's admitted that he's in the documents and on the list. But it's propaganda. It's a conspiracy. It's a Blue Anon conspiracy. This was fucking crazy, though. So there's flip-flopping. The media's flip-flopping. It used to be a MAGA QAnon conspiracy. Now it's a Blue Anon Democrat conspiracy, by Hillary Clinton. It's just fucking nuts, man. It is so chaotic right now. It's insane. What do they say? Sam Tripoli calls, I think it's the Hegelian dialect of you'd never keep you confused, order out of chaos, so you don't know whether you're coming or going. But Kevin Spacey spoke up, which is insane, and we all know how shady that dude is, where all those child rape of little boy, like, shit that was going on, like, what was it, like, half of his half of them, if not all of his like victims, alleged victims, like offed themselves and died mysteriously. But he's saying like release the list, you know. He's like, if you got nothing to hide, then release the list. So it is mind blowing to me that, and it lets me know, honestly, dude. This is what I think. I think that everyone's on the fucking list. Both sides, Republican, Democrat. I think everyone's on the fucking list. So you got the Democrats who are saying, you know, release the list. Because honestly, MAGA is mad and the Republicans are pissed at Trump right now. His base, because he won't release the list. And it is important, and he's just blowing it off, saying it's not important, gaslighting us. The left is going to obviously take advantage of that, you know. So I think everybody's on the list, but everybody's calling the pot's calling the kettle black, you know, basically, because they're all fucking chomos. That's my opinion. Alright, so Dan Bongino, man. I don't like this motherfucker, I ain't gonna lie, dude. And I ain't gonna lie, I've talked about him on this channel a couple times here and there, and I said, I don't trust this motherfucker. I told you that the guy who brought him to my attention was a QAnon retard. And at that point, I had, like, disavowed QAnon and, like, despise it now, because I realize it's a PSYOP, it's Operation Trust. I do have to say, man, pat's on back to me, dude, because, like, I do have good discernment when it comes to certain things, man. And no one bats 1,000, like Sam Tripoli says, but my batting average is pretty good when it comes to conspiracies. Except for here and there. But it's pretty good. No one bats 1,000. But, so Bongino threatened to quit. I don't blame him because he's under the gun. And here's my thing, though. Obviously, this is me being facetious, but I don't think he should quit because his fan base, because he's like a podcaster. I'm not sure if he does radio or not, but there's really no difference between radio and talk radio and podcasting anyways, except for censorship in radio. I don't know his fan base. I would be curious. I'm gonna have to ask my friend because he's a huge Bongino fan, and the QAnon guy that is my buddy. We're still friends, but he's an idiot. Dude, if he quits the FBI, where's his paycheck gonna come from? Because the only ones who are going to be listening to him are those, like, diehard, retarded QAnon people who, like, are still to this day QAnon. Those types of people are going to be the only people who are going to, like, still listen to Dan Bongino. I got to the point, especially after QAnon, like, of, like, I don't trust anyone who worked for any form of government. And I know that sounds bad, but it's just, it is what it is, man. I just automatically, if I hear, like, oh, you were, what did you say? You worked for the FBI? Oh, yeah, I don't trust you. You know, and I guess he was, like, ex-Secret Service, which I see that as kind of sketchy, too, man. Like, sorry, any form of government, dude. I'm like, no, like, you're probably a spook. So my advice to Bongino would be, like, don't quit the FBI because you're probably have lost all credibility. Well, in my opinion, you've lost all credibility within our community, the conspiracy community, the truth community, whichever term you choose to say. You've lost all credibility, buddy. So I would stay with the FBI. That way you still got a paycheck. Because the only people who are going to be listening to you is, like, retarded diehard Q people, and we all know that they don't donate money. I mean, they're trash, essentially. They don't donate money, you know. So you're not gonna make any money, Bongino. I could get you a job at Clark's. But yeah, essentially the FBI has like officially like closed the Epstein case. Nothing to see here. We investigated ourselves and we found ourselves innocent. You know. Now that I've bashed on the Q people, I do have to say there is one thing, dude, that playing devil's advocate, and you guys know me, I've shouted this dude out multiple times. He does give me good scoops on interesting topics. God rules. I've really only bashed him like one time on his opinion of Amon Hillman and him picking on Amon Hillman for no reason. I did a whole episode on it because I thought that was pretty shitty. But he does lose credibility with me because he's like one of these like Kim Clement QAnon guys. But he made a really good point. He said the reason why Trump is not saying anything, not talking about it, he don't want to talk about it, is if he says something about it, if okay, you get this a lot with like, if you watch YouTubers who are going through legal shit, they'll say, I'm going through some shit, but I can't talk about it because my lawyer says not to. So if there is something going on, Trump can't say shit. He can't say I'm releasing the files. He can't say nothing. His lawyer would literally tell him, don't say shit. Don't say shit. Because then if it's like, if libel and defamation suits get filed, even if the person is like guilty of being a pedo, because of the libel and defamation, if they somehow like flip it and win it in court, like they can get off scot-free. So court is a very touchy thing, dude. Like anytime anyone's in court, you know, I went through some legal shit earlier this year and I'm like, I can't talk about it. I can't talk about it. You know, I can kind of hint at it, but I'm not even supposed to do that. I'm just not supposed to talk about it. So that's devil's advocate. But now that the FBI case is closed, it's like, nah, I don't know. I just, my opinion, man, is I did a whole episode on it. It's called like I don't know. It's something along the lines. It was one of our 100th episodes specials of like 100th, 200th, 300th. One of those. I talk about like the different pills of podcasting. Like right now I'm like, I got to the point where I'm just white pilled, which is beyond black pilled, of like the only person I trust is like my higher power, the creator of all. I just get spiritual. I don't trust any man, and sometimes I don't even trust myself. I'm my own worst devil sometimes. But one thing that I noticed, like, go check that episode out though. One thing that I noticed is, dude, even blue pill podcasters are talking about this shit. Like Charlie, Penguin Zero, is talking about it. I seen that. More Pegasus is talking about it. He's like an Indian dude. He's pretty cool. Even blue pill podcasters are talking about this shit. So like Epstein, when he committed suicide, I always talk about that was one of the most beautiful days in America, because like even blue pilled non-conspiratorial people were like, that dude didn't kill himself. Everyone was awake for like 48 hours, you know? Everyone was on the same page. And right now, and it's still Epstein again, everyone's like on the same page and awake, and every single YouTuber's talking about it. Even non-conspiratorial YouTubers are talking about it. So it's like, and someone made a good point of like, we need to keep talking about it. Like, we need to not shut up about this and keep talking about it. And because what they want to happen what I think Donald Trump wants to happen and everyone else wants to happen is for this to just go away and we all forget about it. That's why Trump keeps saying, just forget about it. Forget about it, you know? It's crazy. It's fucking crazy. But let me know what you all think in the comments. I just wanted to do an update because a shit ton has happened this week with the Epstein shit, and I can't not talk about it, dude. Trust me, I have plenty of other shit to talk about, but I'm like, I kind of need to talk about this shit. Love y'all. Please like, share, and subscribe, and you all have a good day.